What's up, guys? Today I'm going to give it a go at creating my first actual tutorial. The clips admittedly aren't the greatest, and I'll do my best, so please bear with me. There's a funny little random clip at the end for anyone who makes it that far. This is going to be a comprehensive guide for the Infiltrator class, specifically for Vanu, although this is applicable for all factions. I have a lot of experience with Infiltrator. I mastered the class. I'm #1 with it on PS4, so for the most part, the majority of what I do is all around applicable to everybody. I'm going to go over what the best equipment is, the best weapons, the best playstyle that's going to let you succeed as Infiltrator, and I'll let you to know what to use. So hopefully this improves your Infiltrator game a bit. As this is my first guide, I can't really match much of what I'm talking about with what you see on the screen, although I will do my best to try and sync the two of them as much as I can. The reason I picked most of these clips really is just they show the basics of Infiltrator. My aim isn't anything spectacular in any of these. There's nothing, no really special kill streaks. They were just leftover clips that I had, but it pretty much shows the basics. And I use a couple different play styles here, so it works out really well. As you can see, different styles of play, and you can figure out what you want to do, as well as, you know, watch me do it and try to learn off of that. Don't judge the SMG gameplay, please. I'm using the Scorpios, which is the Araxium Vanu SMG, and it is honestly terrible. It's the worst SMG in the game for Vanu, so using the thing is a struggle. Just to give you an idea before I actually go into the different types of weapons, I run about an 8.5 KD playing with SMGs. Sniping, I hardly ever do. I have like 10 KD, not that it really matters. It's just a screw around tactic. For scout rifles, I have about an 11 average KD, and then for aggressive sniping, I have about a 9. So right now, I'm going to go into the different types of weapons and the different playstyles you have to use with those weapons, and what's effective and what you can try and do. As I said, Infiltrator is pretty much the sniper class, as everyone knows it. I honestly do not snipe that much. I find it fun. At least I think I'm a good sniper. It's kind of rare for me. I have a lot of trouble with the frame rate aiming and stuff. I can't really aim as quick, so I'm not really going to go into sniping on this because it's very situational anyway, but I will talk about aggressive sniping, which you just saw a little bit of already, and I'll talk about the other weapons. Initially, the SMG is what everyone regards Infiltrator with, and it's, you know, one of the Infiltrator's strongest abilities. SMG Infiltrator pretty much allows you to be very aggressive and move around, picking off enemies without stopping. The ability to cloak and be dominant in close quarters is a tremendous advantage. You can just run around shooting people from different angles. They're never going to realize. You can just keep picking people off. You will win CQB fights. You can go head-to-head against heavies many times and win, as long as you're getting headshots. Initially, both the NS SMGs are very good as a great starting point. They'll help you learn how to use the SMGs, and honestly, they are some of the best, beating some of the faction-specific. You're going to want to be stealthy and fast with SMGs. I recommend always having a suppressor on it. I'll get to that later when I talk about suppressors. Never slow down, keep moving, stay unpredictable, always try to flank with SMGs. Your biggest strength is close quarters. You never want to get caught in the open or in unfair fight. Really, an unfair fight is what you always want. Infiltrator has next to no health, which I'm also going to talk about. So you have to continuously keep moving, and you don't want to try to get stuck out in the open like I did right here, although my SMG aim was a little bit better and I was able to turn on him. The next playstyle many people really don't try that is just amazing is the scout rifles. These things honestly are the best weapon for Infiltrator in my opinion. In terms of like fun, they kind of can beat out aggressive sniping and SMGs really. They work at close range unbelievably well. Once you get the fire rate down, you don't want to, you know, jam your SMG and all. They are just honestly just tremendous. They work at close range just like an SMG, admittedly not as well point blank, and obviously the hip fire isn't as good, but they are just, they extend your range heavily, allowing you to get even more kills with an SMG, because you can pick people off with scout rifles at ranges that are just like uncomparable in terms of SMG just does not work at long range. Scout rifle maximizes long range, medium range, close range. You try to, you know, want to avoid point-blank fights, but it just literally beats everything. The NS, the Vandal scout rifle, is extremely effective. You can use it suppressed. It works fine suppressed. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very good, in my opinion. I highly recommend it. It's available for all factions, so it'll really give you a starting point. I run about an 11 KD with it, and you can just keep running with that thing and just mowing people down from random angles they will never expect. The last weapon I'm going to go over is aggressive sniping. Aggressive sniping is basically using a close-range sniper rifle. It's kind of quick-scopy. If you're using a semi-auto or one of the bolt actions that can mount a lower power scope, such as a ACOG or a 2X. I use the Phantom a lot, which is what you saw me using earlier, where I mounted a 2X scope on it. Aggressive sniping is extremely fun. It's probably one of the funnest things you can do. It is very hard, however. You can do very well with it. The biggest advantage is the damage. Most of the guns will be 2 or 3 hit kills, and you definitely want to get a headshot or 2 in there, meaning you can kill people extremely fast. Aggressive sniping is super fun. The only really big downside is suppressors pretty much suck, so you're not going to be suppressed when you're using a close-range sniper rifle, meaning every time you shoot, the enemy's going to know where you are. It's a big drawback, but if you can master the playstyle. What I really want to talk about really quick is hacking. Hacking's the embedded ability that Infiltrator has. Many people forget it has. Basically, you can walk up to enemy turrets or terminals and hold down square to hack them. You can actually increase the speed at what you hack. If you go to your My Character section under Options and go to Passive Skills, you can put a few hundred certs into this, and it makes a huge difference. It increases your hacking speed extremely quick. Hacking terminals is something you always want to do. It lets you replenish your ammo. It'll help your team. It's tremendous to do. Whenever you're pushing a base, you always want to do it. What's going to happen here in a clip very soon is I actually hack a turret that is overwatching a base that my team owns, the enemy's attacking. Single-handedly, I pretty much take this turret and just destroy a ton of enemy armor. This went on for quite a while. I used multiple turrets to do this. I pretty much stopped an entire enemy push single-handedly just by hacking a turret. There was a lot more that's not shown, but it is extremely useful, so you definitely want... I'm going to go over the cloaks really quick. The basic cloak is the hunter cloak. This is your standard cloak. This is what you're going to use pretty much at all times. There's no other reason to use any other. You turn it on, it loses energy. You turn it off, it regains. You only want to stop to regen your cloak and your shield. Always remember, a hunter is aggressive and keeps moving. It's the same what you always want to do with Infiltrator. It is literally the stock cloak. The other cloak is the stalker cloak. Basically, the stalker cloak restricts you from your primary weapon. You're only allowed to have a pistol. So it's kind of like playing as a mini SMG Infiltrator, except many pistols can't have suppressors, so you're kind of disadvantaged there. If you want to try it out, it's a fun little thing you can do. It's definitely worth it. The Stalker Cloak never runs out of charge. It basically regenerates whenever you stand still, so you can stay invisible indefinitely. The only mistake people make with it is they tend to just sit still and automatically assume that they're invisible, which is a huge no-no that you really do not want to do. One thing you can do with the Stalker Cloak is Crossbow Infiltrator. A couple people do that. The Crossbow secondary weapon is a fun little thing you can screw around with. The last cloak is the Nano Armor Cloaking. I'm not going to talk about this. It's useless. I don't know anyone on PS4 that uses it. It's really a developed skill, and until someone starts using it on PS4, there's no point talking about it. In terms of equipment, you always want to run medkits. You can carry 5 medkits when you max them out. They regenerate your health. You can't do that without a medic normally. It literally changes the game, because every time you get in a gunfight, if you get hurt, you're kind of fucked till the next time. So medkits pretty much allow you to reset engagements, which is a huge factor that you really want to use. There's no point in using mines. Some people use it for Infiltrator. There's literally no point. All it does is pad your KD. It's not going to make you a better player, where medkits will. They will keep you in the fight as long as you can. In terms of grenades, many people like EMP grenades. They eliminate shields and the HUD of the enemy when you throw it at yourself, but you want to be careful because they can also hurt your teammates, which is a really big issue. They're kind of glitchy. They can even take out your own shield through walls, but they're still very useful, and I recommend it. The only thing is just they're better than frag grenades at clearing rooms, so I'd recommend using them. Like I talked about earlier, suppressors can be very useful. Pretty much you want to run suppressors on almost every gun you can. the whole point of Infiltrator is, you know, to hide, to stay cloaked, and be secretive. So you really want to keep that going for you. In terms of your special ability, you always run Nano Weave armor, as Nano Weave will increase your resistance to bullets. Infiltrator has the least health of any class in the game. You will get insta-killed without Nano Weave. It's really a must for playing aggressive. Unfortunately, I had a little error, so I can't really complete the rest of the commentary. I'm going to have a little discussion about motion spotters versus motion sensors, and I'm going to leave that in the description, so be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. This is just something to try and give back to the community and try to just give people tips in kind of a class that I see used incorrectly very often. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what I can do to improve. Thank you.